more breaking news for you right now at 5 o'clock following the disturbance at a boys basketball game in Middletown earlier this week.
Police are in the process of making several arrests. Channel 3's Stephanie Simoni is live in the newsroom with the breaking information. Stephanie.
Aaron and Mark, we have an update to that big brawl that happened in Middletown after those arrests. Now, this just came to the newsroom minutes ago. Middletown police say several arrests are expected from that fight that erupted after that boys basketball game on Tuesday. You are looking at video from the scene after police were called to Middletown High School. Something happened after the game between Middletown and Weaver High that led to a big brawl with students and even parents getting involved. Police tell us a staff member was hurt in all of it. Now, police say they looked at camera footage. They spoke with witnesses from that night, while school district leaders helped officers identify folks in the video to be able to make these arrests. The Middletown superintendent of schools sent a statement. It said in part that what occurred after the game was highly disappointing. It also added that this behavior will not be accepted on school grounds. At this point, we don't know exactly who will be arrested or exactly how many people will face charges. We are working to learn more information. And of course, as we have that information, we will bring it to you here on air and on the Channel 3 app. Live in the newsroom, Stephanie Simoni, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.